All right, 151 UPC is at a new high of about 630. You see over here, and this has been a long time coming. Like they're ridiculously cheap and they've been stagnant for a while. Demand's been higher. I was like, hey, demand's been like doubled lately, but these haven't risen yet. You should get on these. Six more sold yesterday. There was a bunch of cheap ones listed for 500 the other day. But even after that, people bought the ones around 610. So it's been having trouble breaking 610 ever since it crossed about 600. Like this was like a $500 product like 30 days ago, and now it's just getting the respect it deserves. It's going to about I don't know, 640, 650, kind of where that's where all the bigger sellers are kind of selling anyway. And then booster bundles, it's finally caught up to Paldean Fates. These are 110. It's like, I want to bet against 151. Like I want to be like, oh, Paldean Fates has less of it, but 151 just keeps doing crazy things. Like Paldean Fates is stagnant. And it's going to 110. Like I'm guessing. I guess I'm like, this isn't really the analysis. My emotionally, I'm just like, I guess 151 is gonna cross Paldean Fates, for bundles. So 16 sold yesterday, and just look at the price ladder. It's we're really not that far from 115. Like this could really, I think at this point, it really seems like these are gonna surpass Paldean Fates bundles. And then for loose packs, we see 40 packs sold yesterday, and this is actually one of my favorite things to do every day. See where 151 loose packs are. So we're at 1697. That's where the quantity is. You see about 14 packs below before that. You see here, this is about 130 packs, about $17. And then yeah, great. This is 100 and basically 160 packs until we hit 1750, and then 100 more packs, and then that's $18. So even if the quantity doesn't go down by a lot, it's like 40 is still pretty good. um People will just notice the pack prices are rising like crazy, and they'll shift their prices around. So the supply of 151 packs is starting to shift toward, it's gonna rise again to $18 or 1750 soon. I think yesterday it was like around like 200, 300 if I remember correctly. So we're at a much better place today than we were yesterday. For uh, for Etbs, the demand actually rose up quite a bit to five. The last few days has been pretty good. Five, three, and four sold. Prices are going back to $400. They've been having trouble breaking like 415. I think that they could finally maybe do it now, but generally just been less interested in like ETBs and stuff. Snorlax promos sold 120 yesterday, so the most sold in a while. And yeah, these are around $20, $21. I'm not sure. It feels like with demand numbers, the EV promo might surpass the Snorlax promo. It feels weird, because 151 ETB is so much scarcer, but I don't know, it just feels kind of that way right now. The EV promo is just selling so much better. Like Snorlax promo is kind of lucky to get 50, and then sometimes they'll get like hundreds, but EV promos is maintaining so much more quantity, but there's more EV promos available, so it makes more sense. It's also a little cheaper right now, but they're not really that far apart in price. Like, EV promos 14, this is about 20 to 22. For well, maybe that means the Snorlax promos are undervalued. For 151 PCTBs, this sold one yesterday, still standing around on 990. Really wonder when it's gonna reverse. Blooming Waters sold seven yesterday, and these have just been maintaining like their 190 price points. Hasn't really risen past the 200. Good for people who want to buy. For this booster bundle display, no sales since the 21st. This just really was stagnant all of a sudden. Maintain displays also, the price point was reached that people wanted, and no sales September 21st. And then binders sold four yesterday. So actually binder demand kind of doubled actually, compared to normally just one or two. And actually it's heading toward 150, and so it's rising like a little bit. Maybe not still. I still don't know if it's the most best thing to get, but it's rising a little bit right now. And yeah, you see the bundles over here up $6 at the new price point 110. ETBs up $5. UPCs up 66. Binders up 4, and Bloom Wars up 2 or $1. And yeah, Bloom Wars is still cheaper than loose packs. Maintenance displays are still more expensive than loose packs, so they haven't been bought. They're basically treated as like slightly better than loose packs. All right, Destined Rivals cases are seriously undervalued. So case demand rose four yesterday, and I mentioned yesterday there were a bunch of cases for about 2,600. There's one left, and then it rises $300 again. If you do the price per pack for the current prices, you see it's 440 for the current price. Once it goes back to 29.50, it'll be about 300, like $500 a box again. And booster boxes, the demand kind of dropped a little bit. It was selling like 20 per day about. Actually, some days it was like 13. But there's not as many random spikes. It's like 6, 9, and 12 the last 2 days. There's always like this 1 or 2 sellers that are like a little cheaper, and it goes to like 450. So these are a little more static right now. But cases are definitely like there's only one case left. It just seems way undervalued, especially for case how much of a case premium things are getting now. But Tesla Rivals might be leveling out if these demand numbers kind of continue. At about 440, honestly, it's still really great price. For PCTBs, you're still seeing pretty good demand. It just drops a little bit. Sold about 22, then 10, now 7 per day, and they're struggling to break $400. It's not that hard to break to about 440, but it'll take a little bit of buyouts. For ETBs, they keep hovering in the 110 to 120 range. They're at 115 now. Demand did drop for these. It was spiking up to like 14, spoke up to 26. Now they're back single digits, just almost double digits, so 8 sold per day. There is a rise to 125, but we'll see if that happens. And then bundles are heading towards $60. These actually did rise. 27 sold yesterday. Yeah, most of these are around $60. It's $59. Yeah, these are up $6, so it brings it to actually they're up $4, so that brings it up to just under $10 a pack. ETBs, interestingly enough, they are more expensive than cases and booster boxes now per pack, probably because there's an extra promo card. People do like the artwork, but it's up 6. Booster boxes are up 2. All right, Crown Zenith packs back at $15, so it's still technically kind of stagnant at 15, but we're back at solid $15 prices. There's a few sellers selling for like a little less. I see this one over here, but there's only like less than 10 packs. Then we head back to about $15, $14.89. And this is the thing I kind of look out for every day, even if there's not a lot of sales. Like there was like 0 sales yesterday. There was like 2 packs bought. You just see sellers will want to adjust because they're seeing the trend and they want to get more money for it. So there's still a ton of quality at $15. If this seller would move it, then maybe it would rise a little more, but right now it's keeping the price down, but more sellers are not refusing to sell 14, going back to $15. See this guy, I think I may have made a typo and I guess no one corrected me. But yeah, I've been putting it as like 201.98, and I think that I just saw that one as a 9. I just copy pasted or something. But yeah, it's at 209 now, and technically up $7 if that's true. So I think I'll be doing the price per pack analysis. It's been about $15 a pack, which makes a lot more sense. It's about the loose pack price right now, which means it's probably a little undervalued because you get free promos and stuff. 2 sold yesterday. But the main reason it's at this price because Jam Seekers is also keeping it down. ETB's demand rose. 0 sold yesterday, but 5 sold today. They're still around 220. And I really find it interesting how the bundles are around the same price as ETBs. Honestly, people do like bundles more, but yeah, to have this great of an effect, like, it's really interesting. 0 sold yesterday. I also have said I feel like it was a lot short printed because it's kind of a last minute thing. Like, booster bundles have been around for a while for 151, Prismatic, and whatever. But for Crown Zenith, they just suddenly appeared at the last moment. So Crown Zenith bundles, I think, do have that separate premium compared to other things. And they were going to 140, and there's still only about 8 bundles to 140. So bundles have been doing pretty good. And then PCTBs, no sales yesterday. This is trying to get to 500. There's still only 2 boxes. Actually, the seller has like 4 PCTBs. So there's quite a bit of quantity at 450 now. All right, Paldean Fates. So we're still seeing pretty consistent demand of about 7 per day for bundles. Still under 100 bundles. And so 151 finally reached the same price point, and honestly at this point I think it'll surpass Paldean Fates just because of the demand numbers. Even though like the price ladder might be a little better for Paldean Fates, there's just not enough demand compared to bundles for 151. And Paldean Fates has been super stagnant. Does that mean that Paldean Fates is undervalued because there's less of it? I don't really know. But 20 sold yesterday for packs. The packs are starting to sell a little bit more, but it's still around $14. Actually, general prices for yesterday are about the same for Paldean Fates. See, all of them are pretty much the same. For ETBs, still stuck below 300. ETBs for 151 and Paldean Fates are kind of stagnant. I guess those are the main items to look at. There's no like super premium collection or whatever, ultra premium collection. But 2 sold yesterday, and yeah, still really everyone's undercutting each other by so much to under $300. And then PCTB sold 1 yesterday. No, not as bad, but yeah, there is 500 here, but just can't really see the light of day. And then for Paldean bundle displays, yeah, zero so yesterday. Yeah, people have been avoiding selling these. There's a lot of bunch up over here. 151 is also to see some slowdown for this as well. Alright, Prismatic. So the SBCs are up about 15, and so are the PCTBs. They're up about, I think, 17. So two of the, most expensive Prismatic items rose again. Kind of makes sense. So you're following the same pattern. Like Prismatic has been doing really well in general, and it makes sense that the most expensive products are going to get more expensive. The UPCs and PCTBs, like they follow that sort of trend too. Like people want to get the more premium products, get the more premium games in the long term, versus like things closer to loose packs, they could be more volatile and not have the same amount of gains. So they're getting them while they're cheap. So yeah, this is up 14. This is up 17. And I've said before that these were basically higher price anyway. If you look at the sales, you look at the numbers, like for SPCs, like a lot of the bigger sellers want to sell for about 350, and that's kind of where the price probably really is. You would see sometimes some of the sales be a little higher. Like before it was 330, I saw like some 330 sales already. So some people do have a preference for that, and 3 did sell yesterday. For the PCTB, it kind of makes more sense that there's a lot of other sellers because like just because it's a PCP, that's where most normal people are supposed to get them. Although I do see some LGSs, they are selling for about 450. That's kind of where the price kind of should be. 3 sold yesterday, and let me just look at the prices. Yeah, two of them sold for 450 already. Even as they're about 430 right now. So you're just seeing like don't pay attention so much to sticker price. Sticker price just helps you if you want to buy, because then you can say, hey, that's the price. It's not really 450 whenever it should be 450. That's sometimes how you have to do the logic. Like sometimes you pay a little extra, a little more percentage, just because you're like, well, it's basically worth more, so it's gonna go up anyway. Um, for ETBs, still doing really well at 136. These are basically $140. 28 till yesterday. I know I've been saying 140 for a while, but really, if you just look at the listings, like it's just this seller and this is 139, and most of these other sellers want to sell for 140. I really wonder if we'll break the plateau about 140 to get to 150s. If we do, that'd be another stage of Prismatic, but we haven't really seen that happen yet. So we'll kind of see. But I do know the EV promos are getting a lot more expensive. So if we go to the EV promos over here, like they were $12 before, now they're $14. I've been tracking this a lot, and I feel like it sells way better than the Snorlax ETB promo. And I know that it's more plentiful, but like Prismatic, like a lot of those ETPs are going to places. Like I know a lot of them are probably being opened for like streams or other stuff, and people just got rid of them. You saw a big buy out there for 30. They're just selling so well that it's like there's not infinite supply of these, and this price keeps going up, which is gonna raise the ETP price. Also the ETP case prices, which over here, which I said yesterday, yeah, there was a cheaper one for 1700. Congrats if you got it, because now we're back to 1800. So didn't quite reach the 2.2k. Honestly, still not too far. Like there's only like most of these sellers only have one case available. Archer Breaks has three. Some of these bigger sellers they just hold back cases. But yeah, you're not really that far away. Like cases are not nearly as plentiful as loose ETBs. For booster bundles, still selling really well. 100 per day most days or more. And as ever for booster bundles, there seems to be some sort of natural kind of limit. They never really have risen above 70. And they don't have any special premium products. 151 bundles didn't rise for a while. The 151 bundles they go 110 today, so they will rise eventually. It's just in the short term, like don't expect the major rises usually. If they do, that really is a sign of a major market shift. These Lucario box is pretty impressive. They're at 120, so 37 sold yesterday. And yeah, these are not going as cheap as I thought they would. And I think part of it's just like Prismatic is doing so well, and so everyone knows that the packs inside are just ridiculously cheap. It feels ridiculous getting Prismatic for like 7 something, 8 something, when you're like, that's pretty like, it's like why would you buy any like other booster packs for around that price, like for like normal sets. For I know there's deals and stuff, but it just feels kind of weird. For packs are still selling really well because there's just a lot of data. Like a lot of packs are still selling really well. It says about 192 over there. Actually, 268 sold yesterday if you add it up. And you're still seeing prices can't really dip below really $9. Just barely below $9. For mini tin displays, these tend to rise pretty slowly. Sold zero yesterday, especially with Like I really do like the Costco product way better than this one, except for the bulk. I really think it really seems like a much better product because you can see all the EVs. These aren't as nice to have because you can't really see all the EVs, and they even have each promo card extra. And then these prismatic bundle displays, no sales since December 23rd, so these have been stagnant. But yeah, people have buy out the ones that are 1500 or less usually. I'm looking at the price per pack for things. Yeah, with the super premium rising, you're seeing $22 a pack. Like this used to be like $14 a pack. Back then I was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. And then PCTs are always high just because PCTs, but you know, these used to be like $200. This used to be like $20 a pack. So you're just seeing like the insane gains for other products. Button displays are always kind of a weird topic, but they're more relatively new, not as much data on that. But yeah, ETBs are not quite the same as 151, but they're also that premium. They're just not as short print as 151. And then the loose packs, you see loose packs and Tyranitar boxes, they're treated as the cheaper ones, and bundles are usually just a little bit ahead of them. All right, Mega Evolution. We're seeing some really interesting things with Mega Evolutions. And I said with Phantasmal Flames and this, like we're just seeing shifts in the market. I'm not 100% sure how much of this is like it's a good set, how much of this is like it's only like about half the wave. I think only 60% was released because other waves delayed. I'm not really sure, but like, you know, all prices are actually rising now. Usually a lot of the past few boxes Destined Rivals right together, they kept dropping. You see like a lot of red for the initial adjustment. You saw PC's fees have and stuff, but other than that, like they're adjusting back. Booster boxes were priced right around 300. Cases are actually going back up, and they're being more probably priced around the same price booster boxes. Eventually there'll be that case premium, I feel like, and then they're up $13. Yeah, booster boxes are about $300. This is up 8 to $299. It's at $305. Even the ETBs for Gardevoir went back up a little bit. It's at $107. The Lucario one did go down, so they're being more similarly priced at $107 versus $116. Bundles did recover back up to $58, which is actually interesting. So you're seeing quite a bit premium on bundles than in cases or booster boxes. So that's usually there's a little bit of premium. That's still it's usually about $1. So it's about $1.40. I guess it's not too bad. Let's look at demand numbers. So demand numbers are through the roof. 316 sold. Actually, if you add up the number of booster boxes, it's actually 600 sold yesterday. So 316 plus about 127. So let's say that's about 450. And then if you add the cases, so cases are over here. There was 26, and there's 6 per, so that's about 150. So you know, 450 plus 150 is about 600 boxes sold yesterday. So tons sold. And yeah, this is just honestly, like I feel like I missed my opportunity to get some at this release. I might have to wait till next release, and then if we're really missing out, there's just yeah a lot of activity. Like I don't know, the price just seems really stable right now. And for the ETBs, they're selling yeah, you see 200 souls for Gardevoir. For Lucario, you see 200 also sold. So it is release weekend. There's gonna be a lot of stuff sold, but yeah, these are really crazy numbers. For PCTB, it's 84 sold. So that's like about half the market. And yeah, I'm interested in getting PCTBs actually because I think that they may have like undershot a little bit. And then booster bonus sold 397. Honestly, I think it's mostly that. Unless I guess if the price is maintained, this is kind of okay for a price. But yeah, it's like I think this is like the same price as Destined Rivals right now. All right, Phantasmal Flames PCTB is down $45, but otherwise demand for this set's really crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. So yeah, this is down $45. Not too surprising because it's PCTB, and Mega Evolutions crashed like 50% yesterday, so it's not surprising. Like, we haven't seen any PCTB be this expensive out of the gate for release. I think Prismatic dropped to like it was like 400 or 300 something. I don't remember. And you know other things happen as well, so that'll probably drop. But if you look at booster boxes, demand keeps rising. 77 sold. We're getting to about 100 boxes per day. As you may have heard me say before, 100 boxes per day is like that magic number for really good price rises. And yeah, I don't know. Like Mega Evolution is kind of holding steady around $300 right now, and Phantasmal Flames has way more hype than it, and it's kind of like, you know, as all booster boxes go higher, like 334 seems kind of appropriate-ish. The only thing is, I said before, it's kind of a small set, but demand numbers are crazy for this set. Yeah, we're at the point where we're going to reach like 100 per day. I don't really know what's going to happen at that point because there's not enough quantity right now. You see for the ETB, the ETB also is getting to the point where it's nearly doubling soon. So like 145 to the new high 66. It's yeah, I don't know. It's just these things are selling like crazy. Booster bundles also over here, so 22. So not insane numbers, but yeah, definitely more than was before. That's definitely a double. And then booster box cases, for better for worse, no demand still yesterday. So yeah, people aren't. I guess these are really expensive, so people aren't buying as much. These could be just a lot of like people who want one booster box. It's kind of collector driving the market. Yeah, a lot of these people, some buy cases and stuff, but they just want like 2 or 3 booster boxes, and then for yeah cases over there. But yeah, as far as like the price per pack for things like it's the booster boxes are actually cheaper than the cases, so it kind of makes more sense. There's actually a case premium right now, which is very interesting. We're seeing the market definitely shift because for a lot of the past booster box sets, the demand like prices dropped a lot. Like even for Destined Rivals, like prices kept tanking, and then Mega Evolutions they kind of priced it correctly around 300. And now Phantasmal Flames, like you're seeing appropriately, that the booster boxes are cheaper than the cases. The cases do have a premium. So we're just seeing a lot of shifting as people are getting more caught up with the markets. All right, similar to Destined Rivals, joining together cases are ridiculously underpriced. So the booster boxes, they rose to 260 today. So the lower price one went up $10. It's been a long time coming, but now it's about 260 per box. This case over here went up $25, which is already pretty cheap, but now even though it's up $25, it's still only $253 a booster box, and this is their cases, which have like the case premium going on. So let's look at cases. You see 3 sold yesterday after there weren't as many sales, and yeah, there's 3 of these from Collectible Ventures. Then it goes back. Then and there's 2 of them for RJ Breaks. So there's a lot of cheap cases over here before it rises to 1550 to 1600. So just kind of a buying opportunity from 2 sellers trying to kind of undercut for probably they need some capital or whatever, especially RJ Breaks. But yeah, you see that the Journey Together booster boxes spike 11 sold yesterday, and yeah, just too cheap of a box with the promo. Like it's just the packs are worth like cost so little. Getting past 260, a little bit of it'll take a little bit of buying to get to 265, but it really makes Scarlet Base officially the cheapest box. Scarlet it'd be pretty sad if you held on all this time and it's the cheapest box, although you would have gotten it for really cheap, so it's not that bad. For the other box, sold 0 yesterday, 1 today. Yeah, usually this box ends up being higher than the other one, but we'll see what happens with this one. For PCTBs, they're down below 200. But those 5 sold yesterday, and yeah, there's one left until 210 again. So I wonder if there's just some cheap ones available. No, some people did buy them for about 210, so there were some cheap ones though. And then for cases, this other case always has no activity because it's too expensive. But yeah, the cases really cheap, and then PCTBs are down $6. All right, Black Bull White Flare demand numbers. So PCTB is still around the same price. Sold 2 yesterday, and they're still around 245ish. That's about 247, I think. Yeah, these are still pretty stagnant around that price point. For PCTBs for White Flare, still around $200. Still seem a little undervalued just compared to Black Bolts, but I guess that might be the difference. One sold yesterday, and they could rise to 230. They just don't. For Black Bull ETB is still 87, so yeah, 9 bolts really consistently crossed 90. 15 sold yesterday. It's been kind of leveled in demand though, which is good. White Flare ETBs $82, still pretty. It's like at that price usually. 17 sold yesterday, also pretty level in demand. Black Bolts bundles about 54. I think they were like 55 yesterday. Still pretty good. 34 sold yesterday. I just like to see that this is being opened so it can actually rise eventually. And then 27 bundles for White Flare sold yesterday. 15 sold today. These are at about 50, so it's also a pretty good price point. All right, Final Fantasy definitely has a recovery phase, and really I think a lot of this is Spiderman not doing so well and people going back to what worked for Magic. And you're seeing collector boxes up about $30. 21 sold yesterday, so demand is spiking. You're seeing, I mentioned that we're seeing hairline demand going away, but yeah, boxes are consistently selling like double digits pretty much every day, and you're seeing even a double from that. Um, Boxes are heading straight back to 1300. Even like 1320 is not too far away with this box demand. And cases were so cheap before. Now they're back at almost 8,000. They're 78.25. I think these are up about $80. You're seeing cases all of a sudden being sold. You see one sold here, two sold yesterday. So yeah, someone bought another case. So there was one about 7,700 that's already been sold, and now people are getting back in the Final Fantasy train once again. Yeah, the price per package was always so low; it's ridiculously cheap. And just sentiment toward this, it's just like a really good set. Everyone just realizes that it's kind of worth putting money in. So this is up 35. Cases are up 85. And now the price per pack makes a little more sense. They're still really cheap. Like at some point, like you gotta say that the boxes are worth more than the packs, like per pack wise. But right now, loose boxes are still 106. Cases are 108 per pack, and then loose packs are 122. Mega packs are up 3. Gift bundles are up 2. Only play boxes are down by about $1. Um, so here are the packs. Let's look at pack demand. So these have been pretty steady, honestly, because they're a little overpriced. 10 sold yesterday. Demand's kind of a little iffy. It's doing okay. Just you'll see, I guess like most of the day it's double digits, and you'll see just some random spikes. But yeah, pack prices are so consistent. MVP Sports Kit is being undercut though. That's interesting. Get bundles back to 133. Sold. I mean, not get bundles, Omega packs. Sold 5 yesterday, and the price point's kind of consistent. Like it'll go up or down $1, but prices are pretty stable. For Japanese, sold another box yesterday, and maybe you'll see it cross 700 now that Final Fantasy is getting more attention. For play boxes, we see sold about 11 yesterday, so still selling double digits. Still around 270. For cases, saw 1465, sold 1 yesterday. Cases are down to 7, which is good. The quantity's still low. They're just maintaining this 1460 price. For gift bundles, they're back at 200. Sold 12 yesterday, so this demand kind of increased. It's kind of been maintaining its $200 price points. For Spiderman, we're at 554 yesterday. I think that's around what it was yesterday. 330 sold. We're gonna just see what happens with the market. Honestly, I'm not really sure, but I really want to see where the prices are in like about a week or two. And then for the play boxes, they sold 217. Like it's a really good sign to see that like collector boxes sold more than play boxes. Because these are the main investor item to get. Also, I like the box art like way better. That wraps things up for this video. I hope you walked away with a better understanding of the market. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more deep dives in the Pokemon market. Tell me what's the next big investment you're considering in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.